Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another quick edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade. This is just going to be a quick review of Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, and also this video is going to feature just a brief channel update for how things are going to be going forward for a while. More on that after the review. So jumping into it, I'm doing it in this quickie format once again, just because I realized I honestly did say everything about Godzilla and Kong in my out of theater reaction. It's very similar to Godzilla versus Kong, where it's no longer trying to be as horror-esque as the first two Godzilla films or Kong Skull Island. It knows it's ridiculous. It knows it's silly. It's fully embracing the campy aspect of its premise. Honestly, kind of paying homage to the older Godzilla and Kong movies, where you could tell it was just a couple of guys dressed up in a suit, and it goes full in on that. And like I said in my out of theater reaction, I enjoyed that because I thoroughly enjoyed Godzilla versus Kong for finally not taking itself so seriously, giving us more Titans, and honestly, the humans in Godzilla versus Kong were kind of bland too, but having humans that were slightly better because Brian Tyree Henry made his debut in that film, and he was easily one of the most interesting characters that we've ever got in this entire franchise, because once again, he's not trying to take this seriously. He's clearly having fun with this, making jokes, kind of being this like wacky, zany conspiracy theorist, and he was very enjoyable in that film, and he's back here front and center. They finally, thank God, because I did not like the characters. They got rid of the characters from Godzilla King of the Monsters, because they were in Godzilla versus Kong, and they were just so bland and boring and overly serious. Millie Bobby Brown, Kyle Chandler, I just didn't care at all for them. But thankfully they're not here. We do get the more interesting characters from Godzilla versus Kong and this film, and the little girl who I'm sorry, I totally forgot. I did not rewatch all the Titanverse movies leading up to this. I know she's like a member of that tribe from Kong Skull Island, and I want to say she is deaf, mute, one of the two. But she was always a fascinating entry in this franchise. She's good here. She's grown, older a little bit. I like the relationship that she has with Rebecca Hall's character. You could tell that she really cares for her adopted daughter. And I already talked about Brian Tyree Henry. Even funnier here, honestly, even better here. Steals the show in every scene he's in. And then there's this other guy who I'm so sorry I don't remember his name. It's a white guy, Australian accent, very charismatic. He's definitely kind of playing like, kind of like the animal lover Steve Irwin type, where he's very passionate about animals and nature. Has a couple of environmentalist scenes in here that, are technically correct, and he's not crazy in anything he's saying. But he was very charismatic. He was also having fun with it too, just kind of like that upbeat personality. And him and Brian Tyree Henry actually had really great chemistry together. So yeah, this was a lot of fun at the movies. It was good. I liked the focus, like I said in my LT reaction. There's a very large portion of this movie where it is just Kong's story. It's Kong and the mini Kong you've seen in the trailers. They have a story, and of course they're, giant titans, so they don't talk or anything. It's this dialogue-free story that I was really invested in. I like it when movies can pull something like that off, like in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or A Quiet Place. But Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is definitely a better example, where it's, though the apes in those movies can sign, and there's some sign in this movie, it's a dialogue free story, and I was really digging that. Only thing that was, I guess, very noticeable was, once again, Godzilla takes a backseat in his own movie. Barely any Godzilla in this movie. He might as well take his name out of the out of the top off the title, just say Kong the New Empire, and maybe just have Godzilla just basically been featured as a cameo. But because he's on the poster, but because his title is his name is before Kong's in the movie, that was of course a bit of a letdown, because I'm like, where the hell is Godzilla? Oh yeah, he's off there. Just he's basically the player that's been benched in the big game, which made no sense, like, you know, like story wise. Like, why did you do that? Why'd you call the movie Godzilla and Kong and feature it as this big team up movie where they're kicking out all sorts of ass together, but he's barely in it? We wouldn't have minded if you had just called this Kong the New Empire and maybe have made like Godzilla like a surprise cameo. That would have worked better, I felt like, with how this movie actually ended up being. That would have made more sense. But I guess they threw his name on there, and, you know, his face in the poster, because, you know, Godzilla -1 was a huge hit, and they want that Godzilla money. I don't know. You know, we all know how the studio bigwigs think. But wrapping it up, I was kind of like teetering, because it's stupid, and of course there might be some stuff that like doesn't make sense, but I had a good time with it. So, but man, I'm trying to like measure my final rating by the rating that I gave Godzilla vs. Kong when I first saw it, which was, I still remember, was a 9 out of 10, just because it was such a fun movie. I'm going to give Godzilla and Kong the New Empire, how about this, an 8.5 out of 10. I liked Godzilla vs. Kong a little bit better, only because of the novelty that these two are going to finally fight one another, and the fight in that movie was epic, was slightly more entertaining than some of the action in this movie. Not that the action and the fights aren't really good, but I just like seeing the two of them finally get together and beat the shit out of each other a bit more than what they did in this movie, mostly because like Godzilla's barely in this film. But this was still a blast. If you liked Godzilla vs. Kong, I think you'll like this too. If, however, you're a bigger fan of like the darker, more thought-provoking movies featuring Godzilla or King Kong, you'll probably say this is too silly or too stupid. But as a fan, as a fan of Pacific Rim, actually one of my all-time favorite movies, and like I said, the last movie in this franchise, I'm glad they're finally going in this more lighthearted direction, not trying to take this super serious, not making it a dialogue heavy film focusing too much on the bland wooden cliche cardboard cutout human characters. They're finally focusing on the Titans. They're finally lightening up a bit, and I love it. So 8.5 out of 10 for Godzilla and Kong the New Empire, and that concludes the review. So moving on to the Wade Watches channel update. Just want to let you all know out there that I'm going to be kind of cutting back on full-on film reviews, because I want to explore my creative side. I am currently working on something, and I hope I can get behind the camera and actually make this something that I'm working on. So I'm gonna have to just like cut back on doing full-length reviews just for the sake of time, and just because I want to pursue more creative endeavors right now. But I will still be uploading out of theater reviews, because those I can knock out in a minute anyway. So that won't be too tedious for me to continue. But just a heads up on that. I'm going to complete my I'm going to try at least to complete my A24 in April review. But after that, Wade Watches is going to kind of enter into like, you know, kind of like a quieter, slower period. Like I said, I'll still do the out of theater reactions. I'll still upload those, because those are definitely the easiest videos for me to make. But as far as full length reviews go for every new release coming out this summer and beyond, I'm gonna be scaling back on that, just because I really want to devote some time to working on my creative projects. So thank you very much for understanding. Thanks for continuing to watch my channel. I love what I'm doing on YouTube. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, and I'll be back with my A24 in April movie reviews and more out of theater reactions for you guys. Peace.